I am just one person of no particular importance, but even I can see that the state of women's rights worldwide is still very terrible. We have many societies that reinforce the idea that women are lesser than men, that they should cover up because they will entice men otherwise, and if they don't, then of course they are trying to entice men. Any man who believes that a woman should cover up and it's their fault if he's enticed by her is a weak man. A man who is not fit to be married, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to religious, spiritual, and cultural differences, there's a lot of leeway, in my opinion. If a woman is willing to follow a certain religion or cultural doctrine and submit in that way, then and it's left up to her, then that's fine. But if it is forced upon her, if a group like the Taliban in the Middle East tries to destroy women's schools, female schools, tries to repress women in every way possible, then the woman's choice is not present. It is not one that is made. It is forced upon them. And let's talk about education for a minute. What do certain men find so offensive about women being educated? And what it comes down to is that they are afraid of what they will do with the knowledge. They know that if somebody is educated, then they have the ability to support themselves. They have the ability and understanding to move forward with their own lives without being dependent on another human being. And weak men don't want that. They want women to be dependent upon them. And when we look at even some communist countries that have a certain idea of a woman being a housewife, in Russia, many young women are taught to be housewives. We see a more cultural than religious indoctrination. And once again, if a woman has an idea or is educated in multiple ways of looking at culture and the world and how to be a human being, and she still accepts this, that's fine. But I sincerely doubt in Russia that a woman is educated to the extent where they can say, okay, I don't need to be a housewife, that they are given as fair a chance as a male. And it always comes down to this tribal principle, the tribal principle of a weak man viewing himself as more important if he has more gold, if he has more cattle and more women. It's just another flock to him, just another horde of cattle, herd of cattle rather. And any man who thinks like that cannot stand on his own 2 feet. He requires so much else in order to make him feel like he's more important than other people. Only when society is willing to accept women as being completely equal to men and given the same chances can we see liberal development like we see in the West. I mean, not in all places of the United States, and we still have a lot of work to do, but there are many very liberal countries in Europe, Western Europe, that have reached levels of female equality that we've never seen before. And our sisters are given the same opportunities as males. And not only do they help the economy, they prove to be just as adequate members of society as us. And for that to happen, we have to view them as equal. And this seems so obvious to us in the West. And it seems so obvious to us who grew up in a society where women were treated as equal. But in so many parts of the world, women are cattle. They are given over to solidify a relationship with another family, arranged marriages and the like. They are viewed as something. It doesn't even seem like a human being when they think of them like this, but something that has to stay aside and do all the chores and do exactly what their husband says. And if they don't, then they deserve to be punished. They deserve to be beaten. And then there is no recourse in the law for them to basically go against their husband. They have no other choice. And this is where we see not female weakness, but male weakness, as I said. Only when humanity as a whole starts to see itself as a united humanity that doesn't have differences of opinion as far as the value of us, an individual, when it comes to race, when it comes to gender, when it comes to gender identity, when it comes to any divination that we in human society might delineate into. Only when we see that there is no difference and we treat each other as equal worldwide will we truly be able to have a chance to spread a singular human civilization into the stars. A singular human culture, if you will. Culture is probably the better word. And we have to realize that even if you're a complete misogynist, even if you just look down on women, you have to look at the societies that valued women most. And in those societies that value women most, those societies produce stronger males. Those societies produce males that are more sure of themselves, that are actually more intelligent, that find themselves happier because they have equal partners in life. And that is one contribution the West has given to the world, I guess you could say, what is considered as the West. That's the idea that women are equal. But I mean, it wasn't founded in the West. It's always been an idea. It's just been achieved in the West in a way that hasn't been achieved in most parts of the world. That doesn't say that we're perfect. That doesn't say that America, being furthest west, is the most perfect by far. I think that countries like Norway, like Denmark, like Sweden, I think those countries that are very liberal and have achieved a level of valuing the worker and the worker's rights in relation to the government, and allowing for medical care, free medical care, a high standard wage, and a recognition by the government that sometimes you need some time off, a required amount of days that you get off per year, and the right to vote on laws. I think that's a huge issue that most of the world just hasn't even come close to. But like in Switzerland, to vote on laws, that is remarkable, because most countries that we consider free are republics where you elect representatives in order to vote on laws. But to vote on laws ourselves and to give women that vote would be amazing, because even in the United States, we see a vastly larger male population in our representative government than female. If we actually got to vote on laws, I think that our population would be far better represented, because obviously what it takes to become a politician in the United States, there are some levels that seem to have some prejudice, because women aren't inherently less intelligent or less able. There's just a culture of male dominance in politics and in in law firms, for instance, as well. But I'm getting off topic. We have to address women's rights worldwide, and not just, they've gained so much here. I mean, obviously they've gained enough. First of all, no, they haven't gained enough even in the West. There is still discrimination on a wide scale. I've seen it myself. But in other parts of the world, we have to fight for those women who deserve to have the equality that most of them haven't even dreamed of. But they are equal. And that's what we have to work towards no matter where we are. That's what we have to fight for. Because once humanity reaches a stage where all males consider women as equal, the sky is the limit. Humanity will move forward in ways that we could have never imagined with the amount of female participation in all walks of life that we have now. Human beings are equal. That's just... I don't usually say things are facts. I don't like when people say that, but that is simply a fact to me. Thank you very much for watching. Support women's rights worldwide, and I hope all of you have a great day.